Now you can do either a simple cross-legged position, maybe sitting on your blanket or one of those bath towels if that's helpful. If the knees are higher than the hips, it can be helpful to raise the hips and bring some ease there. So I'm going to sit on my blanket. There we go. An alternative position would be hero or heroine pose, where you fold the legs underneath you and sit on the heels. And there again, you can put something under your seat. You can roll up that blanket or bath towel and just sit it right under your, put it right under your rear, between your feet. Okay, so choosing your opening position, either heroine pose or simple cross-legged position, and then lower your gaze or close your eyes and connect to your breath. And notice how when we turn our attention to our breath, it naturally often begins to shift the quality of our breathing. And that's a great demonstrator of what we focus on starts to shift or change. The quality of what we focus on can often expand. Energy goes where attention flows. So I want to invite you here to just take a moment and reflect on your intention for your practice, because by focusing on a particular element that you would like to have more of in your experience or in your life, either in your body, mind, or externally, it can be anything at all that you want to focus on creating and bringing more of into your realm. So what we focus on expands, and we can choose what to focus on. So reflect on your intention, make sure you're using positive wording and bringing it into the present tense. So instead of I will be X, Y, or Z, I am at ease, at peace, I am strong, I am creative. Maybe you have some creative projects you'd like to do later today. It can be anything at all. It can be related to your health or even your wealth. So give your intention, your full attention, and take 3 nice big breaths here, breathing some life into it, seeing it in your mind's eye, maybe even starting to feel it as true now within your body, mind. And then feeling thankful as if it were already true now. Good, we're going to do a little seated cat-cow here. Big breath in on the exhale. Hug the belly button towards the low back, and if you're in there, that heroine pose, you can do the same action with the spine. Inhale, open the chest, gaze up a bit. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, round. Good, one more pair. Inhale, open up. Exhale, round. Inhale, back to neutral spine. And then we're going to bring the hands forward, come into a tabletop position on your hands and knees. And start to stretch out one leg at a time after having those knees bent. Extend one leg back, rock a little bit back and forth on the ball of the foot. That'll help stretch the feet out. And breathe. And then do the other side, stretching into the foot by curling those toes under a little bit and rocking gently back and forth on the foot. Good. And releasing that chin down, curl both toes under, start to lift the knees up, bringing the head in between the arms, pedal the feet. Now you might mostly feel this release in the calves, but notice the soles of the feet. See if you can feel, and it's mostly when you're lifting the heel up. See if you can feel some stretch on the sole of one foot and then the other. And I just want to share, my mom had plantar fasciitis for years, and she increased her yoga practice, her hatha yoga practice, and released it. So she doesn't have that anymore. So this is a really effective practice. And then let the knees come down, take the hips back, child's pose. Now you can keep the toes curled under to keep the feet stretching here, or put the tops of the feet down. Sometimes that's too intense. So pick one of those feet positions, lower the forehead down. If it doesn't quite reach the ground, support the head so you don't have to hold the head up. Knees can be together or apart. Several breaths here, remembering that you can go to child's pose, balasana, anytime you need to take a break from the vinyasa flow of the practice. The first half of our practice will be elevating heat in the body-mind, and then we'll be cooling it down with that wonderful yin release. Stretch the arms forward, bring the hips back over the knees, curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Good, let's do a two-part flow here with the breath. Lift the heels up, stretch the feet, breathe in, breathe out, wave it forward into plank, strengthen and lengthen in plank. Beautiful, inhale, hips lift, exhale, lower the heels. Inhale, heels lift, stretch into the feet, exhale, wave it forward into your plank. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, lower the heels. One more just like that. Breathe in, stretch the feet, breathe out, wave it forward. Breathing in, hips lift. Breathing out, lower the heels. Good, inhale into plank, one swoop. Exhale, chaturanga or knees down first. Inhale, cobra or up dog, uncurl the toes. Exhale, back to downward facing dog, flipping the feet back over. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Good, look forward to the hands, prepare with the eyes and the breath. Exhale, walk or hop the feet to the hands. Hands to shins. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, forward fold. Breathing in, rising all the way up, gathering some energy. Exhale, side bend to one side. Open up the side body. Good. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. Breathe into center, gaze up, little baby back bend here. Exhale, bow forward to the legs. Inhale, half fold. Plant the hands, step or hop back to that plank. Mindfully lower. You can let the knees come down first. As you exhale, lower down. Good. Inhale, cobra or higher. Exhale, back to downward facing dog for 3, 2, 1. Gaze forward, breathe in. Exhale, walk or hop the feet to the hands. Inhale, hands to shins, half fold brings you part way up. Good. Exhale, forward fold, hug the belly in a little bit. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, side bend. Breathe into center. Exhale, other side. Good. Breathe into center, gaze up, open the chest. Exhale, bow forward. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, half fold. Hands plant, step or hop back. Exhale, chaturanga or knees come down first. Inhale, cobra or higher into up dog. Exhale, back to downward facing dog for 3, 2, 1. Good. Prepare with the breath and the gaze. And then when you're ready, feet join the hands near the top of the mat. Breathe in, half fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Breathe out, Uttanasana, forward fold. rise up, extended mountain. Exhale, half moon, standing half moon to one side. Breathe into center. Exhale to the other side. Good, stay standing, breathe in. Exhale, releasing the arms down to your sides. Do some shoulder rolls up, back and down a few times. And then you're going to turn and face the long edge of the mat, standing right in the center of your mat for some moon salutations. I love the moon salutations. They're different than the sun salutation in that we don't go all the way down to the ground, okay? So starting in mountain pose, Tadasana, right in the middle of your mat. Good, exhale the breath here. Inhale, take the arms out and up to either side, joining the hands above you. Exhale, side bend. Breathe into center. Exhale, side bend. Good, breathe into center. Let the arms come out and down like you're making a big full moon shape. Good, step the feet apart, turn the toes out. About 45 degrees here, coming into a squat position, first squat, so we're not going to go super deep. Bring the arms up, goalpost or cactus arms, palms face forward, let your shoulders relax. Building a little heat. See if you can add some traction between the feet as if you're trying to bring your feet together underneath you. That's going to turn on the inner thighs there. Good. Start to straighten the legs, straighten the arms. You're going to push the heels out so that the outside edges of each foot parallel the short ends of the mat. And we're going to pause in each of these poses for a few breaths, our first time through the moon salutation. Ardha Namaskara. Good. 5-pointed start, your feet, your hands, the crown of the head, making the 5 points. And then turn your right foot 90 degrees, coming into triangle pose. Hand to leg or fingertips to floor, reaching those left fingertips up, gazing up at the left hand or forward or even down towards the earth. Couple of breaths here. On an inhale, rising back up. Exhale, let the hands come down. Now turn more towards the right and bring that left foot in a little bit. Take the arms behind the back, holding opposite elbows or prayer pose with the hands for some of you. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hinge forward with a long spine in your pyramid pose. Lengthen the back of the neck. Avoid rounding to just get down lower. Noticing the balancing element of the pose here. Breathing. On an inhale, rising back up. Exhale, releasing the arms to the sides. Bend the front knee, sweeping the arms up, warrior one. You can do a little bit of cactus arms here if that's better for your shoulders, or extend the arms. Couple of breaths, you're doing great. Breath in, and on the exhale, let the arms come down, hands to hips. Now turn your left foot more towards the long edge of the mat, maybe increasing the space between the feet. Bend your front knee. Bring the forearm to the thigh for side angle. Sweeping that left arm up. Left palm turns down towards the ground, opening the chest. And just notice, if you're really leaning on that leg, see if you can gather into your core and lighten up the weight of the support arm on the thigh. Good. On an inhale, let's rise up. We're going to find star pose again at center. Get your foundation set. Outer edges of the feet parallel the short ends of the mat. Shoulders relaxing away from the ears, lengthening through the crown of the head. Now the moon is reflective. It's yin. even though this feels like a yang flow, which it is. So we're going to do a reflection of those poses on our second side. So turn the left foot 90 degrees and then bring that forearm to the thigh. So starting with side angle pose, opening the chest, breathing, and then just noticing if you can lighten up the lean of the left forearm on the thigh. So you're lightening the load there. Good, engaging. Maybe a little traction between the feet to turn on the inner thighs. And then rising up with the breath, hands to hips. Turn that right foot, the back foot, more forward towards the short end of the mat and bend into that front knee for warrior one lunge. Adding the arms, extending the arms up. We can bend the elbows 90 degrees in those cactus arms or goalpost arms. If you have tight shoulders, bending the elbows is very helpful. On an inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bring the arms behind the back, holding opposite elbows or prayer pose. Lengthen, breathe in, breathing out, hinging forward. So the legs are straight without locking the knees. A little micro bend in the knees. Your spine is long, back of the neck long. So the chin draws in just a bit. There might be a little bit of motion in the ankles as you're balancing here. Notice that. And a little bit different transition here. You're going to bring the arms forward, bring the left hand onto the leg or fingertips to floor, and start to open the chest, peeling yourself open. Adjust that back foot so the toes point more towards the long edge of the mat. So you come into triangle from the ground up. Good, beautiful focus everyone, beautiful forms that I can see. Gather into your center on an inhale, rise up. We're going to come back to that star pose at center. Get your foundation set, build the pose out, up through the crown of the head, up through the fingertips. Smooth the breath. And then bring the heels in about 45 degrees. Bend the knees, goddess pose, cactus arms. Now you have a choice. You'll either step the feet together or hop the feet together. So a potential super adventure moment. Step or hop the feet together. Extend the arms. Inhale, get long. Exhale, side bend to one side. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. Breathe in at center. Let the arms come out and down. Imagine you're within that big, bright, full moon. Unite the palms together at the heart center. Lower your gaze to your fingertips. Take several breaths here. Notice what you notice. Good. We're going to go through that flow one more time with less time in each pose. It's a full breath cycle or so in each pose. And I'll guide you through it. We're going to go the opposite way. We're going to go left to right this time. So come to your mountain pose, arms down by your sides. Exhale, empty out the breath here. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, side bend to the right. Breathe in to center. Exhale the arms out and down, right inside of that full moon shape. Bend the elbows, take the feet apart about 45 degrees. Come into your goddess pose, taking a breath in and out. Straighten the legs, straighten the arms, push the heels out, 5-pointed star, full breath cycle. Turn the left foot 90 degrees. Come into triangle pose. Full breath in, full breath out. Now turn more towards that left leg. Pyramid pose. Hands can be forward on the leg, or you can take the arms behind the back. Full breath cycle here. Bend the front knee, rise up, warrior one. Good, forearm to thigh, side angle. Turn those right toes out towards the long edge of the mat. And then rise back up to center. Find star pose at center. Breath in and out. And a reflection of those poses on our second side. Right toes turn 90 degrees, forearm to thigh, side angle for a breath in and out. Turn more towards the short end of the mat, towards that right leg. Step the back foot in a little bit. Warrior one with your breath. Choosing an arm position. Straighten the front leg, hinge forward. Hands can come forward, or you can take the arms behind the back. Yogi's choice, yogini's choice. And then we're going to find triangle from the ground up. So if arms are behind the back, hand comes to leg, peel yourself open, turn the left toes out a little bit more. Gather into your center, rise up with the breath. Refinding star pose at center, 5-pointed star. The elements of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Bending the knees, bring the heels in a bit. Goddess pose, breath in and out. And either stepping or hopping the feet together. Inhale, lengthen, beautiful. Exhale to the right. Saluting that side we were just on. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Breathe into center. Breathe out, arms come out and down to your sides within that full moon shape. Unite the palms of the hands at the center of the chest. Gaze down at the fingertips and breathe. Good. Releasing the arms down to your sides, find your mountain pose, and then shift your weight into the right leg and foot. Left foot's going to come onto the ankle, the calf, or higher onto the thigh. Avoid your knee joint. Grow some branches here. Finding your tree pose. The trees are really leafing out here in Austin. It's beautiful. Flowers are blooming. I know up in Montana, for Tracy, it's going to be a little while before that happens. Your favorite tree. Now, balance in motion here. Can you bring that ankle onto the thigh, bend your standing leg, and start to hinge forward, standing pigeon. Forearms come onto that lower leg, or maybe the backs of the upper arms hooking on to the shin. Maybe fingertips to the floor, stretching into that hip. We're going to do some hip releases during our yin portion, but maybe starting to feel some release here. Good, rising up with the breath. Can you draw the knee into the chest, bringing the hands onto the thigh or the hands onto the shin. Lengthen the spine, breathe. Then we're going to take that leg out to the side. Stretch your right arm out to the right. You can make the OK sign with your index finger and thumb coming together. Good, bring it back to center and then take the leg behind you, grabbing onto the foot or the ankle, and dancer's pose here. Lifting up, hugging into the lower belly to protect the low back, reaching forward with that right arm. You're doing great. With the breath, rising back up and releasing the foot down. Just walk it out a little bit. Shake opposite arm and leg. That'll help enhance our creativity too. Getting both sides of the brain communicating. And then mountain pose, Tadasana. Just take a few breaths here. Don't even think about your second side. Give your body some love. Say thank you. Be thankful that we have 2 legs, 2 feet, all that good stuff. And then shift your center of gravity into the left side of the body so you feel more activated through the left leg and sole of the left foot. When you're ready, sole of the right foot comes to the ankle, the calf, or higher. Feel free to get close to a chair or a wall here. I didn't mention that on the first side, but if that's helpful for you. And then grow branches into Vriksasana. Maybe you have a favorite kind of tree or a favorite tree, just connecting with that energy of the tree, its solidity, it's unwavering, it's rooted and grounded, and then rises up through the leaves and the branches. And working with balance in motion here, we're going to bring the ankle onto the thigh of the standing leg. Bend your standing leg and start to hinge forward any amount. Maybe just rest the hands on the shin. Maybe the forearms come onto the lower leg. Perhaps the backs of the upper arms hooking onto the shin, either uniting the hands or fingertips coming to help ground you to the ground here. Notice your breath, notice sensation in that right hip. Work within your capacity. And now with your breath, you're going to start to rise up. We're going to bring that right thigh up with us, hands onto the thigh, or maybe for some of you, hands onto the shin. See if you can keep your mountain pose alignment, nice long spine, beautiful. And then take that leg out to the side, extend your left arm out to the left, uniting the index finger and thumb, opening the hip. Good. Bring it back to center, and then take it behind you. Hand comes to the top of the foot or the ankle. Kicking that foot into the hand, reach your left arm forward. You can make the OK sign again. Index finger and thumb coming together. Jnana Mudra, wisdom with dancer's pose. Good, on a breath in, coming back to center, and releasing that right foot down, walk it out, shake the opposite arm and leg. And then we're going to walk to the top end of our mat and find mountain pose. Let's do a little rinse here. Exhale, breath out, empty out. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, forward fold to the legs. Inhale, half fold. Plant the hands, step or hop back. Exhale, chaturanga, or knees can come down first. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, back to downward facing dog for 3, 2, 1. Gaze forward, prepare with the breath and the gaze. Exhale, walk or hop the feet to the hands. Inhale, hands to shins, half fold. Exhale, forward fold. Rise up, coming up into that extended mountain. Exhale, side bend. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. Good. Inhale to center. Exhale, bow forward. Pause in Uttanasana, forward fold. Place the hands somewhere. The arms can weigh a fair amount, and if we just let the arms dangle, it kind of pulls the arm bone out of the socket and can be really damaging to the shoulders. So you want to actively support the weight of the arms and keep that upper end of the humerus plugged into the shoulder joint. So placing either fingertips on the floor or hands on shins, hug in and up on the low belly to support the back and draw the chin in. And then just gently rock a little forward and back on the soles of the feet. Notice how that changes sensation on the backs of the thighs. You might also try bending one knee and then the other. So you're kind of shifting forward and back with the hips. Just Just explore and feel into the back side of the body here. Bend the knees a bunch, bring the hands down to the mat, step one foot back, then the other to downward facing dog, and pedal it out here. Pedal the feet, move the head side to side. Good, let the knees come down, take the hips back, child's pose. You can have the toes curled under, so stretching into the feet, or uncurl the toes and place the tops of the feet and the toes on the mat. If you want to stretch the feet a little bit, this would be an option. Sometimes it can get too intense and you have to uncurl the toes, so work within your capacity. And then make it a very relaxing child's pose. So support the head. You bring in your blanket or towel as support here under the forehead. Just take a moment to bring in some supports, make it pretty easy and comfortable. Knees can be together or apart. If this pose does not work as a yin pose for you, just come to a seated cross-legged position and fold forward instead. Okay, work within your capacity, listen to your body. About 1 more minute here. Right, deepen your breath, slowly start to rise up. And you're going to roll to one side of the hip or the other to swing the feet around in front of you and extend your legs. You're going to come into caterpillar pose next. It's a seated forward fold. You can sit on the edge of your blanket here. That helps rotate the pelvis forward, or you can use a folded bath towel. And if your hamstrings are feeling really tight, you might take a rolled towel and just place that behind the knees to kind of support the knees. If your hips are lifted, that's a good thing to do as well, so that your knees don't hyperextend. And then just coming forward in a very easy way, bringing in whatever supports. I like to have something on the thighs, coming into the belly here, just to support and bring comfort to the abdomen. Find your degree of forward fold that works for you, that is relatively restful and easy. If you notice the muscles are like tense and kind of protecting and holding and guarding, then just do less. It might be that you've gone too far into the fold. But sometimes just actively imagining sending the breath to that body part that's holding or tensing can help it release. And as we're in the pose for about another 1.5 minutes, you might notice a deep ache starting to develop. That is normal. That's the connective tissues releasing. But you'll know if it's too much. You'll know if you need to come out sooner, and if that's the case, you'll just recline on your back and rest. Just Imagining yourself in your little cocoon. Deepening the breath. Slowly making your way up. You're going to lean back on the hands, bend the knees, and just rock side to side. Rock the knees side to side in your imaginary hammock. Hammock pose here, just doing a little rocking, massaging the gluteal area. Good, and then sitting back up, here we'll bring the soles of the feet together, knees going out to either side. And sometimes, depending on what's going on in the hips area or the other joints, this is fine. You want to stay right here. Some people, if it's really tight in the hips, even leaning back on the fingertips is recommended. So find your way where it's an acceptable level of intensity. Some of you may choose to come forward over the legs. And if you can reach your feet, you can just take the thumbs and massage the arches of the feet gently. If you find a little tender spot, just pausing and consistent, gentle pressure. If you find any little nodes or tender spots in the feet, we have all these acupressure points in the feet, well, all through the body, of course, but the feet are a little mirror for our upper body, the torso and the head, with the hips being in the heel area, the spine along the length of the sole, and then the head, neck and head being where the toes meet the feet and the toes representing the head area. So just explore, give yourself a little massage as you work with this forward fold breath. One more minute here. Slowly, slowly, with your breath, start to come back up. If you've hinged forward, bring the hands onto the outer legs, fold them back together. Do your hammock pose here, leaning back on the hands, rock side to side, and breathe. Good, and then we're going to come to a lunge position. So you may want to place some padding under your back knee. I'm going to use my blanket. I'm on a hardwood floor. If you're on carpet, you might be fine, but just have padding handy in case you need it. So let's take the right foot forward on the mat. and the back knee down. You can use those rolled towels, rolled bath towels under the hands or fingertips. And then here, so in Hatha Yoga and Vinyasa Flow and all that, we talk a lot about the importance of keeping the knee directly over the ankle. In low lunge, in the yin form, you can actually take that heel closer back so that the knee starts to go over the toes or past that toes, if that's okay for your knee joint. If you have a wonky knee, don't do that. But what that does is that starts to release the Achilles area on the back that wraps right around the back of the heel under the sole of the foot. And then an easy lunge here, just letting the weight of the hips come forward and down. Do about 2 minutes here in this lizard lunge. Anytime you need to take a break or rock the hips back, you'll do so. But see if you can just allow gravity to work, to release that hip flexor area, the top of the thigh that gets tight from sitting, but it also gets tight from walking or running or biking. It gets shortened, and that can sometimes lead to some low back pain or discomfort. Keep your awareness on sensation, monitoring, so that it's an acceptable level of intensity. And keep some awareness on your breath. The breath is a great monitor for whether or not we need to release. If you're starting to not be able to breathe slow, deep, and even, then it's probably time to let it go. Got about 1 more minute here. How slowly can you start to shift the hips back, pushing into the hands, just super slow. You're going to shift the hips back. And you can bring the hands underneath the shoulders, either on your towels or on the ground. And then just draw those right toes towards the shin point and flex the foot a few times. Good, and then we're going to change sides, so drawing that right foot back, coming onto the right shin, helping that left foot forward, and making a choice here. You know your knees, okay? So if you tend to have knee issues, I want you to keep that knee right over the ankle, so the shin is vertical. If you don't have knee issues and you want to start to release with that Achilles area, you can allow the knee to go forward towards the toes, or maybe even past the toes for some of you. But listen to your joints, do what's right for you today in this moment. And then we'll work with 2 minutes on this side, letting the weight of the hips come forward. So we're starting to release those hip flexors, those quadricep muscles that get tight and shortened from activity as well as non-activity. Noticing your breath, noticing sensation. And as we did in a previous pose, if it's helpful, maybe even sending the breath to certain areas. If you find they're kind of holding or gripping, it can be helpful to just imagine you could breathe right into that area. So remember, as we talked about in the beginning, just by focusing on something, it can start to improve or expand. Slowly with the breath, start to shift the hips back, push into the hands to help. Just take it nice and slow as you're shifting back, walking the hands back right under the shoulders. Point and flex that left foot, rocking a little forward and back. And breathing. So we're stretching out the knee joint, the Achilles area. Just getting some movement. Good, and then draw that left shin back behind you. And just roll to the outside of one hip or the other. We're gonna get set up in resting butterfly pose. So you're gonna use your rolled bath towels. If you haven't rolled them yet, just go ahead and take a moment to roll those up so that those will be supports under the outside of the bent legs, bringing the soles of the feet together. And then you have the option of covering yourself with a blanket or just placing it over the abdomen. And before you recline back, you have an additional option of taking your hand towel and folding it in thirds, just like we fold a tortilla to make a burrito. Folding it in thirds. Depending on the thickness of your hand towel, you may take that and fold it in half so you have a long tube. And that can go underneath your spine. So the hollow of the spine will be supported. And you'll recline onto it. I sit just in front of it, but I've had students that need to actually have it under the sacrum and sit on it. So try sitting just in front of it and have your blanket and stuff handy when you recline back. Try sitting just in front of it, and if it just can't quite get comfortable, then shift more onto it. Snuggle those rolled bath towels under the outer thighs and outer calves. And then I like to place just a folded blanket on the abdomen and the hips, or if you're cooling off, you may want to go ahead and cover yourself up with the blanket. Be particular about getting everything arranged just so, especially the arms. I would recommend turning the palms up towards the ceiling. That naturally starts to open the chest and shoulders. If, however, you have some shoulder issues going on, that might be too much. So then you can just turn the thumbs up towards the ceiling or even turn the palms down. Okay, so work within your capacity, depending on what's going on there. Take the arms any distance from the body that feels very comfortable to you so that you can really start to settle and relax into resting butterfly pose. So we've been in our cocoons. Now the butterfly gets to rest. Wings are open. This is a bit longer of a pose. We'll do about 5 minutes here, but you can come out sooner. If it starts to get too achy in the hips or the gluteal area or the low back, you can change positions. You could always just extend the legs and bring those rolled towels under the hollows of the knees so your knees are supported. Just take a moment to inch the head away from the shoulders and the shoulders away from the hips so your spine gets a little bit longer. Good. Big breath in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth, settle. Allow yourself to rest. Big part of the yin practice is just being. Be one of the hardest elements of life is just allowing ourselves to be, because we've been conditioned to be busy and to appear busy and productive, but there is huge value in being able to rest and relax and restore and just be. This being may in fact be an advanced practice. Watch the breath flow in and out. Notice where you might relax a little bit more. Send the breath there to encourage it and to support it in relaxing. Let yourself know that this is a safe place to let go and relax. And you deserve this time to be and just breathe. You may choose to stay right where you are if you're very comfortable and this feels like a good place for Shavasana. Otherwise, you'll bring the hands onto the outer thighs and help fold the knees back together. Separate the feet a little wider apart, let the knees knock together for a few breaths at center. Just counter pose, that big opening of the hips. And then if you want to roll to the side and come off that hand towel, just move that off to the side. Then choose a position for Shavasana that you would like. Traditional Shavasana, just extending the legs, letting the feet flop out to either side. Arms a little ways from the body. Or maybe bringing those rolled bath towels behind the hollows of the knees, covering with the blanket, or using it as a pillow, or using that hand towel as a pillow, just refolding it. Just take a moment here to settle into Shavasana, your final relaxation pose for several minutes here. Opening to receive all the benefits of this practice to body, mind, and spirit, and all the layers and levels of your being, physical body, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies, and the energetic body, all realigning, co-creating health, happiness, wholeness within you, around you, through you, for you. Connecting to your breath. If you have time and you would like to rest in Shavasana, please continue to do so. You're welcome to stay as long as you like. Otherwise, you'll start to wiggle the fingers and the toes and allow those small movements to grow into larger stretches. Just filling the body with that breath, that prana, that life force, deepening your receptivity of the breath and emptying out. Little effort on the exhale and then passive, receptive inhale. Stretch and move as you need to. And eventually you'll come to a comfortable seat, either cross-legged position or hero or heroine's pose. Once you're there, uniting the palms of the hands at the center of the chest, honoring your personal intention for your practice of yoga today, and enjoying a moment of gratitude, thanking your very own body, mind, breath, and spirit. At Thank you so much for sharing your practice and your light with me today. May the benefits stay with you and expand outward from your being to other beings. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.